I'm on a $1 billion facility, right? We're building this $1 billion facility, and I've made it.
Next question, from worker to leader.
Man, I just always wanted to be better. I wanted to become the best version of myself. And I think I felt I felt a certain type of way when I noticed that when I became a felon, people kind of wrote me off.
Yeah.
Because as a kid, I couldn't really grasp the concept of what was really going on until I got a little older, and I'm like, oh shoot, so this is how the world see you.
Bet.
Bet I'm gonna prove them wrong.
Hey, what's going on? This is your boy Charles at Chadwick Experiences, and I have another guest. I met this brother online. It's like a brotherhood circle that we're in. But check this out. He went from facing prison time to becoming a pipe fitter. Then he turns around, he goes to the foreman. Then he becomes the owner of a representative of a multi-million dollar project. And he doesn't stop there. He's a self-published author. He's got a book, and now he owns his own company. I don't know too many people that I can say that I can physically touch and know that, as the song made it from the bottom, now we're here. He needs no further induction, but I'm gonna give it up to my homeboy Demarcus Taylor. And hint, hint, if you don't know about data centers, this brother right here is working on these projects, and everybody's seeing them. Data centers popping up, and he's gonna definitely give us a bit of gems about data centers. Demarcus, what's good with you, man? Thanks for coming on, man.
Bro, and I appreciate you having me, dog. Like I said, I know we've been trying to get together
Yeah,
for a couple
months.
months now, and with you being over in Hawaii and shit, it's just, I mean, the time difference is a little bit, but sure, I'm
Bet.
grateful to be here, man.
Me too, man. And it's so much to cover. I try to keep these to about 30 minutes. So
Okay.
I just want to follow up with that introduction too. It's no secret. Sometimes people can get off on, I won't even say the wrong path, but if you're not conscious, you don't
Mm,
know. What was it like
mm,
facing prison time on something,
mm.
and then you turned around and came out on the other side as like it looked like an L, but it's actually like a W. Can you go in depths and kind of
Yeah,
talk to my
yeah.
listeners? How did you go from there to the pipe fitter to the manager to owning your own business, man?
Well, bruh, I mean, facing life in prison at 19 years old, you're just a young boy. You don't really know, what happens outside of that, right? So there is no blueprint, or let's say there was no blueprint in place. Now I can reverse engineer where I've came from to be able to get somebody, outside of that. But bruh, me playing football, my dad playing football for the New England Patriots, I'm thinking that,
Wow.
I'm thinking that was it, right? Like I got phone calls with Jimmy Smith, which is a Hall of Fame wide receiver from Jaguars. Like I got these other people who's coaching me through the process on how to get better. And, I'm thinking that's the life. And then when that's being pulled from underneath you, what you gonna do now? You know?
Yeah.
And just to be full transparent with everybody, that happened at 19. There was and I don't even I tell people this all the time though, but like, you have to know me, and I'm super transparent with this, but like at 19, there was 11 football and basketball players. We was in the dorm room, and there was four girls, and they were white girls. And I hate to say this, but there were four white girls in the state of Mississippi, and they were underage. We was 18, 19 years old, and few of these girls were sleeping with some of the guys, and I was just there. I thought I was in a gang, thought I was like, you know what, I'm solid. I ain't telling, I ain't snitching, I ain't doing none of this type of stuff, man. And just for me being there, I ended up facing life in prison. I didn't go to prison, they gave me 5 years probation, but just that process of going through that in my life, it was tough. But yeah, but I'm here now though, and whatever else you want to talk about from that aspect, outside of that, we can chop that up on in my book, Turn Your Catastrophe into a Masterpiece, by the way.
Yeah, people got to get that if they haven't got that
Yeah.
as well, man. But I'm just so excited, man. And me personally, I didn't know that little bit of piece. I heard you kind of talk about it a little bit, so thanks for the
Yeah.
transparency, man. Um, Next question that I want to ask you is like the turning point of all this stuff, man. How did you end up getting into like the path field that you're in? And my dad was a plumber, so anybody that know me, that's my connection to the trade industry. I see you went from college athlete, you did all that, faced some prison time, got on probation. How did you go from that and then like the pipe fitter, the foreman? What was that like, man?
Mm. Okay, so I mean, with me having to move throughout society as a felon, right? There was a lot of no's.
Yep.
I'm talking about no, you can't work here. No, you can't live here. No, you can't stay here. No, I'm no, 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 no. So, of course, what you gonna do from there? You gonna start selling drugs, and so that's what I ended up doing. Start, doing some nickel and dime and middleman type stuff. I didn't never necessarily like push some heavy weight, but I
Yeah.
pushed enough weight to where it was like, hey, bro, you finna go back, like you finna go 20 steps back if you don't chill out, right? And I remember it was I think in my last 2 months of probation after the 5 years. I was at the college, University of Southern Mississippi, right? And a guy I know, he ended up bringing in a whole pack. I'm talking about a couple pounds. And brought him to my apartment, and we was on the second floor. So the unit number was like 223. I kid you not, we breaking stuff down. You could if you open the door, you could see directly through my place where you can see the coffee table, you can see the couch, you'd be able to see, you know what I mean, the weed and the trash bags and everything, right? So
Yeah.
me, I rolled up a blunt to go outside to go smoke it. And when I opened the door, SWAT team coming up the steps. I'm talking about it's like 18 people dressed up in black. All you can see is the eyes, big AR 15, 16s coming up the steps, right? I'm thinking this is over with. Like it's done. Like I'm like, bro, I'm tripping. They coming up the steps, one guy coming at me, and either the lieutenant, sergeant, general, whoever it was like, no, not 223, 323.
Wow.
Bro, I'm in the middle of the door with a blunt in my hand, the door wide open. I know they looked, and you could see the coffee table. I got a scale back there, is marijuana, little Ziploc bag, all this, right? And they just passed me by to go upstairs of the person that was on top of our unit. And all you can hear is them knocking stuff down. We getting rid of all this marijuana and stuff like that. But then that moment was like, you know what? I gotta do something else. Like I'm tripping. So from there, I went to Jones Junior College and ended up getting Pipefitter trade. So there was a certificational program there, and I took that, and that's how I ended up falling into the firewatch in construction.
Okay. And with that
Yep.
being said, was that was how much did that cost you as well, learning that particular trade or
Dude,
certificate at that
$600.
college?
$600. I never forget it, man. My mama paid $600 for me and my brother, matter of fact, to take that. That was so cheap. It was 6 month training for $600, man. It's
And
probably
what
more
did
expensive now, but
yep. And what did that incorporate though? Because I love to tell my listeners about, you already know I'm down with you
yeah,
with the trade industry.
yeah.
What was that? So was it like a general certification or
Yeah, it was a general certification where you would become NCCER certified, which is National Center Construction Education and Research. You would automatically get your NCCER number as a pipe fitter. It'll show all of your training curriculum on what you've taken, whether that's, offsets, pipe fitting 101, pipe fitting 2.
yep, levels to it? Yeah, just like a
Yeah, so
foreman.
level to it,
Yeah,
right? So if we were to make that equivalent to the union, it would have been like you'd have been equivalent as a apprentice level
apprentice.
3 coming
Yeah.
out. You feel me? But that's how much in depth the training was because we did hands-on. We did bevels, we did cutting, we used torch, we did blueprints, we did the mathematics, all that, right? You just didn't necessarily have the true hands-on in the field.
Yep. Versus the
But I
classroom.
had the book knowledge though. You have all the book knowledge for sure.
Was there any resistance and you wanted to do that, or you just knew for mama's sake you had to do something to?
Dude, I saw the check.
Okay,
We had a
yeah, talk
guy.
about that. Because that's one thing I do tell people, no matter what, when you go into trade without any skill, without any knowledge on that first day, you getting paid, whether you just walking
Yeah.
around, following somebody, handing tools off. So your
Yep.
case was the check. Okay, bet.
Yeah, so a buddy of ours, man, like we seen him, just busted and disgusted, right? Somehow he had already went through the same training. I didn't
Uh-huh.
know about him. But he ended up he showed us his first check and it was like $2,800. And that was like with per diem and everything though, right? I didn't even know what a per diem was, but it was like a journeyman pipe for the $2,800 that 1 week. He was like, this is 1 week.
Wow. And that's
I'm
Mississippi
sitting there
State?
like, I worked at a chicken factory, bro. I worked at a chicken factory making $7.75
Some
an
change.
hour,
Yeah.
slaving. So looking at that, I remember getting checks where I was only making like $360, $340. And I'm like, yeah, okay. That's $1,200 a month. You making 28 in 1 week?
Yep.
Oh, say less. I'm finna go to that class.
Bet. Bet. I
So that
love
was the
that, man.
motivator to me. That was the motivator.
That and for my listeners who don't know, I know because I work in the industry from a construction and security standpoint. What is Firewatch? Can you tell them I know what it
Okay.
is dealing with welders and I-beams and just welding projects. Can you kind of
Yeah.
let my listeners know what is a
Yeah.
Firewatch?
So Firewatch is pretty much the bottom of the barrel, you know what I mean? As far as skill-based knowledge, let's say that, where you don't have to have no skill to anybody to do this role. Like
Yep.
seriously, you could take you could take your grandmother that's 70 years old and she can
Yep.
go out there and become a Firewatch. And typically that's what it's like. It's like it's either, and I want to be biased, either like a woman or somebody who just have no
No,
information
not.
whatsoever to construction. So all I could do was literally hold a fire extinguisher. And this was even after my training. And I
Uh-huh.
got a story behind that though. Hold a fire extinguisher and watch other guys weld or grind on any other type of material, anything that could potentially cause sparks or hazard. And that's it. I had to sit there and watch people if they was in the air. My neck was hurting. I had cold because the heat is in the tools. If you ain't moving, you're
Yeah.
just sitting there freezing. And that's pretty much what that is.
Bet, man. And I've seen it, and it's an easy job, and you getting paid. And that's the
Super.
one thing here at Chadwick Experiences. I want people to know if you learn a trade, you gonna get paid regardless. So I appreciate you
Right.
sharing that. And there's so much to cover, but I'm gonna keep it moving, man. What is the meaning behind your book, man? The question I have: you turn your catastrophe into a masterpiece, no knowledge, etc. What
Mhm.
catastrophe? And it sounds like there's many. It's just not one single event
Yeah.
in your life that caused you to get that turning point. And what made you write this book, man?
Oh man. So I mean for me, turning catastrophe into a masterpiece, it actually derived when I was going through my first divorce, man. Like I was homeless, taking showers at Planet Fitness, sleeping in my car, using Barnes and Nobles and McDonald's and the local library Wi-Fi so that I can actually, do research or get on the internet to look at other type of stuff. And during that process, I'm like, bro, I'm really just writing what was going on in my life, writing my emotions, writing my feelings, writing the story back from when I was 19 years old, when I lost it all or whatever, or I thought I lost it all, thought my life was
Yeah,
gone, to that point of where I was at. And it's wild. So that's pretty much where that book derived from, turning catastrophe into a masterpiece, no knowledge kept secret. And I put no knowledge kept secret in there because if the guy that I am today would have been back in the place of that guy who was 19 19, I would have never faced life in prison. I'd have never had the label, or been a felon. Like that would have never happened because I could have got out of that. But since I was not knowledgeable, my family wasn't knowledgeable, we didn't know. We
Yep.
didn't know whatsoever. And it's unfortunate though, man. You would think like, I mean, bro, you didn't do like what's I'm like, bro, it's Mississippi. It's Mississippi. Out like you're a black guy, this is a white girl, or these are white girls, and you guys are this. Like it's a whole thing. It's a whole racial profiling thing, no matter what. And all I kept hearing was I remember this lady, she was like, you N-words are not gonna see the she said you N-words are not gonna see light
Wow.
and eat it. Well, she was wrong.
Yeah, and I hope she sees this interview to show you what how much growth you've had, man,
Oh
overcome.
yeah.
But I totally get where you coming from, man. I worked in a law enforcement background, and sometimes people just don't know what rights or how to play the game when it comes to them court systems, DAs, all that stuff. So I know exactly where you coming from, man. Um,
Hmm.
to kind of keep it moving too, what lessons from the trade did you learn? You started in the trades as a laborer, fire watch is pretty much like general labor. Then you did the pipe fitter. Then I know you're managing things now. So what lessons working with your hands that help you move into leadership and major multi-million dollar projects, man?
Man, I'm gonna be real, bro. The way that I'm able to do what I'm doing now, it wasn't necessarily because of my hands. It was necessarily because of my mind and
Yeah.
personal development. Like, bro, I ended up hearing Jim Rohn say this back in 2015, I believe. He said, man, work harder on yourself than you do your
You're doing
job.
your job. Hey,
And
I
I was
was,
like,
hey, it
I'm like,
clicked, didn't it? It
oh, it
clicked.
clicked.
One of the lowest points in my life, somebody sent me Jim Rohn, and it was like a 4 hour. It's still on YouTube, man. It's a 4 hour video, and it says how to live your best life ever. And when he said that, people work harder on their job than they do on yourself. And he was like,
Wow,
if wages make you a living, but if you work hard on yourself, you'll make a fortune.
make a
And it
fortune.
clicked.
Seriously, man. But if I had to give you guys some type of tangibles, it would be so as a pipe fitter, there's certain skills that come along with it that you have to go through the exposure or the experience of it, right?
Yeah, there's
Like,
levels to it. Yeah.
oh man, dude, like when I got in, we were bull rigging. You know what I mean? Bull rigging is like a non-existent thing right now because of the safety mechanisms that have been put in place and things it's just safer now. But I remember having to bull rig a 44-inch heavy wall pipe coming in off of the crane, picking it up off the back of a truck. We had to put it in a pipe rack, and this pipe rack had other stuff in place. It got steel beams, and you're not putting it at the very back of the pipe rack and just sliding our way through. No, we having to insert it towards the middle. So guess what? Now you have to put a chain fall somewhere on a beam, and as you get closer, you have to take that chain fall and your slings. And now you're starting to you're pulling on the chain fall, and the whole time you're letting loose of the crane. So you're making the crane come down to get a little bit more slack to where you can pull and pull and pull. And then you get to a certain space. Now you put another chain fall, or this is already in place, by the way. You connect that chain fall to where, let's say if it's either 3/4 of the pipe down, to where now you get to a space as you drift in this pipe, you can completely let go of the crane, and now the crane is gone, and now you got a piece of pipe, 44-inch big boy pipe just in the air, to where we got to make this get to a location that's possibly 100 feet away from us. So now you got come alongs, chain falls, you got rollers that you got to sit this thing on top of, man. Like that. me being able to experience that gave me a level of confidence to where it was like, "Dawg, I don't care what it is in this industry, I can do it, right?" But and if I want to give you guys more mental one, I would say doing takeoffs or like rolling offsets um in the industry. Like when I was able to do my first offset or cutting a piece of a 90-degree elbow and utilizing tangent and cosine to be able to make turn it into a 31-degree elbow. Like that right there put me at a whole other place. I was like, bro, if I could do that, it's over. And yeah, so that's just some small tangible skills, man. But I also became a combo welder too, and an orbital welder. So it's like it's a few different things that I know about that industry.
Bet, and I love just hearing you talk about what you accomplished in that pipe fitter field. But I just
Hmm.
want to ask you a question that's not even scripted. I just thought about it. One
Yeah,
thing I noticed when I worked in plumbing, it's like the longer you stay in the trade and you watch maybe an electrician or I watch the HVAC, it's like learning a foreign language because once you hang around each different group, you're going to keep learning. And lastly, I want to ask you something. Did the confidence what you learned in the trade go beyond the construction site? For me, it did because problems and solutions. Once I learned how to move pipes, or hey, this pipe is a galvanized, I gotta go get a transition. Man, it's like I look at life like a construction puzzle now. Even outside
yeah,
of construction, whatever I'm doing in my life, if I need to fix this car, the same principles I learned in construction with plumbing, I'm applying them now to everything in life, even dealing with money, man. How that the construction takeoff method. Like when I went to college, that's exactly what I did. I looked at my tuition costs, everything like an invoice bill. I was like, I don't need that construction takeoff method. And I start saying, I don't want the meal plan. I'm gonna live off campus. Like all those things came into play. And I want to ask you, is that what construction's kind of done for you as well? Outside of construction, when you're solving problems every day, you're gonna keep creating solutions like you can't stop.
yeah. So it's funny that you say that though, bro. Because guess what? For me, I'm gonna say my life,
Yeah,
my life of what I had before construction. Because and construction, don't get it twisted. Yeah, because you got to solve a problem every day. It's
yeah,
a new problem in front of you. It's just like playing golf. Like you got to solve a problem no matter what. So it helps you gain another level of confidence because you realize, bro, I'm an elite person. You can go to
exactly.
those. There's not many people who can square a pipe off a beam.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you in a very small group, and the demand right now is impeccable. But for me to get to where I'm now, bro, I ain't gonna lie. Like I think I succeed at what I do in this construction industry now because of my whole life I had to survive,
Cool.
right? So I had to make
Yep.
a decision. I had to be able to maneuver or manipulate something to where we can get it to the next level. So yeah, I agree with you 100%. But I'd also like to add just the life aspect to it too.
Bet, man. And this leads up to the next question, man. Uh, Managing multi-million dollar projects. I'm associated with million dollar projects, but I've never really managed one. But I kind of see how it's intertwined with today's industry and what you're involved in. We know, and here's my favorite part of this interview, and I'm so happy, bro, you willing to give me some time. Data centers is one of the fastest growing sectors in the world. What skills
Hell
allow
yeah.
you to move from the field you're in to overseeing multi-million dollar operations, man?
Man. So I feel like this, once you know how to solve complex problems, man, it's like it don't matter what industry you're in, you'll figure it out. And it's a
Yeah.
lot of transferable skills that go into certain stuff. Because I give you an example, I started out doing power plants, and then from power plants it went to natural gas plants, and
Okay.
then from natural gas it went to pharmaceutical. And I stayed in pharmaceutical for a long time, several years, different projects and stuff like that. But having that knowledge base was like, okay, I got this. Like, okay, the quality aspect of it is very stringent. I know the traceability has to be on 10. and I have to be able to keep up with the material test reports, the certificates of conformances, and understanding what the specifications are, right? What the basis of design and going from that space, right? And then once you realize that is on every project. Like some quality standards are not as high as others, and I'll give
Yeah.
you an example. Data centers quality standards are not as high as pharmaceutical
Bet.
or semiconductor. And I was like, and for me doing those, it pretty much put me in a space of data centers like, oh, this guy may be, he'd be good because he's strict or whatever. I'm thinking that, okay, this is the standard across the board. Like
Bet.
every project or whatever we're building gonna come with this type of quality standard. Nope. Like it's a gray area or a gap that needed to be bridged. And in the data centers, you would think it'd be super strict when it comes to
Yeah.
quality, but they want them up so fast. They
Exactly.
want it online. So they're like, go, 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 go. And there's a lot of gaps in all the owner specifications to where the general contractor and the trade partners can milk that. Okay, I got all the money. I don't know how to build it. I've got some people on my team who know bits and pieces about this, but you're the skilled person. You're my plumber, you're my electrical guy. So you know what you're supposed to be doing, so do it. But then you go read my specs and you're like, that's a great area.
Yeah.
I could do this. And then you may, take me to the bank until there's an RFI process and you like, yo. Okay, this is how I want it. Well, you should have said that in the first time, and we would have been done. But that's the game.
Yep.
And me understanding that, that's how I'm able to go into the data center space. And not only that, get chosen to speak as an expert for
Yeah.
Advancing Data Center West, which was
Bet.
amazing. The data center construction in this industry forecasting right now.
Yeah, so right off the bat, the MVP teams, the VDC, virtual construction teams have to be providing model data that is.
On MEP integration and quality and commissioning. Like that was major, bro.
Yeah.
That
And,
was
and,
major.
while, and while you're using that acronym again, I really push for the trades for anybody. Can you break that acronym? I know what it is, MEPS, and what that stands
Okay.
for. And it'll make sense.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
very
yeah.
simple, guys, but I want
Yeah.
you to get educated. When Chadwick
Yeah.
experience is up here, I'm trying to give y'all some real life experience coming from
Yeah.
brothers as well.
So, I mean, they can go like two ways. So, MEP, you got mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, or you got mechanical, electrical, and pipe, right? Just to keep it in general, because pipe, all plumbing is not pipe, and
Yep,
all piping is not plumbing. So, just to,
exactly.
just to break that up. But
Bet.
that's what that means. Yeah.
And one thing I want to touch on too, and I know your time is busy, you probably got a business meeting after this, but one thing you just
I'm
said,
good tonight.
okay, bet. One thing you just said, man, all jokes aside, I noticed for me, whether I'm flipping burgers at McDonald's when I was younger or whatever I'm doing in life, if the standard is high in your work experience in general, and then you go somewhere where the standard's not as high, to me, it makes you a leader and it really shows you what you meant. So I love what you said, working in the pharmaceutical industry, all these other industries. And then when you get to the assurance and the quality and standards of data centers, you said something to Jim. You said that the standards is not necessarily lower, but they want this stuff to move. Would you say your experience from the higher standards allow you to have some insight and oversight to kind of see,
Oh
hey,
yeah.
this is that gray
Oh
area?
yeah.
And that's what I love
Oh yeah.
about jobs when you get experience and you go somewhere that's hard, that makes you that standard is high. When you go somewhere where it's more relaxed, you can't relax because you already know what you're supposed to be looking for, and that just comes with experience.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, I guess you got to think about it, man. It's like the tougher or
Yep.
more strict that you're at a project to where it sets the standard,
Yeah.
and then everything underneath it, you pretty much already done those steps. You already know those processes. So it's like, all right, well, cool. Well, maybe you guys could
Yep.
bridge the gap here, or this could help you in your process on our quality aspect, and it may cut down your turnover, right? And
Bet.
uh, yeah, just so me having that that much of stringency and detail orientation where, this has to be in place before that can happen. The owners love that.
Oh, I know they do.
They
And
love
I
that.
and I know with your style, I didn't
Yeah.
grow up in no hood. I'm a country dude from North Carolina. I grew up on a farm, but I will say whatever experience we have, I know you're street smart. So when you're around these $1 million business owners, you probably have such a good way to communicate it that even somebody in elementary school can understand it. And you're keeping that professionalism going on to a point where you just that guy where people say, man, that guy Demarcus, he does this and how is he doing it? But they probably don't know the story behind your life. It's not
Yeah.
like your story was the same as anybody else's. So life experiences really do set you up for the win, in my opinion.
100%. Yeah,
Bet.
but this the thing, bro. I was born in Mississippi, born and raised Mississippi, small town, 514 people total, bro. I'm talking about
Wow.
backwoods. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And,
smaller than mine, and I thought I was
yeah.
doing bad in North Carolina.
Yeah, we didn't have no red lights, man. No red
Wow.
lights. We didn't have no major store. We had some mom and pop gas stations. Had one stop sign. So it's like that. That right there within itself, man, pretty much taught me just a whole nother way of going out and go get it and be appreciative of what it is. And for me traveling and meeting different people and different experiences, I've been able to relate to people on a whole nother level, especially in those particular rooms
For
to
sure.
where. So yeah, so it's like I can bring the message down to the listener depending
Yep.
on who it is, right?
Oh, facts, man. And that's
Yeah.
why that's what I like about guys like you, where I remember the cartoon Transformers, man. I mean, you can transform like a chameleon. It don't matter. You can go in those rooms and settings. And this leads up again to the next question. Again, I'm so excited because you're my connection to this data centers. So my next question is the rise of data centers. Data centers are powerful and they're powering the digital world from AI to cloud computing. For people who
Yeah.
don't understand this industry yet, brother, this sector is becoming a huge opportunity. Can you please just let the gems of raindrops of knowledge you have fall down so I could get people up to date about data centers?
What is a data center? A data center houses rows of computers and equipment for storing, processing, and transmitting data. They typically have few windows and extra security, including cameras and sometimes biometric screening. The computers need a lot of electricity to operate and to keep the equipment from overheating. That also requires more electricity and huge amounts of water for elaborate air conditioning.
Yeah, so I tell people all the time, man, hey, you know that phone you got in your hand? Every time you take that photo, every time you download that app, every time you send those text messages, every time that storage says, hey, you're over or you need some more storage, man, you need to think about where is that storage actually being stored, you
Yeah,
know? And all of the artificial intelligence and um just just all the technology that's being put in place like that there's a correlation amongst them. So these data centers right now we are projected to spend what 700 billion this year alone in manufacturing these facilities, man. Currently I'm on a $3 billion campus out here in Phoenix, Goodyear to be more specific. And that's only one campus. That's not in addition to the other five campuses that I have to go to, right? That's just that one. So, you may have another one at like 300 million, 600 million, $1 billion or whatever. And, you just add all of that up and all these other different numbers, man. It's non-stopping. And the way that we have artificial intelligence like Claude, OpenAI, there's it's not going anywhere at all. And before you know it, so you and I guess I'm looking at it like this. If we got 700 billion for cloud space, that means everything going digital.
yeah.
Everything's going cloud. You're not spending $700 billion
To still have
on
somebody in an office space filing paperwork.
exactly. Like it's gone, man. It's so gone. And if you guys have never utilize Claude or OpenAI, like you got to think about how many people is using it and how many times you're prompting it to do stuff. And like that storage need to go somewhere, right? T-Mobile got data centers, AT&T got data centers. Like every digital cloud space company that you can think of is utilizing data centers, whether it's a $1 million size data center or $100 billion size. So it's even to the point where they got data centers underneath the ocean in
Mm,
water. You know what I mean? Like Google have tried a ton of things, man. Meta, Microsoft, Amazon,
yeah,
Align,
definitely.
QTS, NVIDIA, Tesla. Like it's like this is a real thing. This is a real thing. And if I'm honestly, if I'm starting from scratch right now, I'm becoming an electrician.
Okay. That's a
I'm
great point.
becoming
Why would you, with what's going on in the world and data centers, can you break that
so.
down for my listeners?
In data centers, man, it's like 80, although it's like 80% electrical. Well,
Like,
no, you know what? It's probably 85% electrical.
okay. 85% electrical and data centers. Okay.
85% electrical. And I'm saying that because you have, okay, first you got your 34 5 kV substations primarily. Not all data centers have it. Then you have what? Your switch gears, you have your generators, your UPSs, man, your um ATSs, your CTSs, like you got so
Much.
many different electrical components that go into these data centers, man. And
Yeah.
then your telecommunications,
Yeah.
fiber optics, like it's 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 wild. Like I wasn't an electrical guy. Y'all know I'm a pipe fitter, welder. And now that I'm in the data center space, I know more about electrical stuff when
Then
I
you
go
do.
see it, than the average Joe for sure. And but I'm saying that because you know how sometimes you be like, okay, I don't know if you've been on a huge job. Like if you go to like a natural gas plant or a power plant or pharmaceutical, it's like, okay, pipe fitters be the last one off the job type situation. Here in data centers, electrical. Electrical the
They're the
first on
last
the job.
one.
They the first on the job and the last on the
Yep.
job. Because
Okay.
you got utilities.
Yeah.
You got underground utilities that everybody needs to run from X to Z, right? And on you got above ground utilities.
Yeah.
Like it's all about the electrical space. When can we energize this? Even with your mechanical equipment, guess what? It's electrical.
Yeah. I know for me, what I see in my field, a lot of damper controls, they're electrical control,
Yeah.
motorized stuff.
That's the billing automated systems that go into that stuff, but it's like it's still no matter what, it's an electrical guy.
Yeah. I
So
can
even
see
when you
that
go
too.
through commissioning, like when you go through commissioning these, bro,
They want that electrical people there
it's
to answer them
yeah,
questions.
because you want to turn it on, right? To start
Yeah.
up, you want to turn it on. Like does my control valve actually, is it getting the right reading when we doing point to point testing? Is the chiller actually turning on? Is the heat exchanger turning on? Like are the DCUs or the DCAs? Like it's a whole thing.
Bet,
So
man.
I would say
Bet.
go electrical route for sure.
And they're here, and for all my listeners, you're hearing this from a guy that's in the field. He's working on the data centers, and this is his advice. We know advice can just be an opportunity, but this brother, my homeboy Demarcus, is
Yeah,
saying
yeah.
electrical. So I would highly listen to somebody that's in these data center space now, and it is the startup of it. So I can imagine
Yeah.
if a young kid got into it, I'm pretty sure they're gonna just have him doing conduit runs, but soon as he's pulling the wire, he's gonna terminate connection. He's gonna start seeing all about the switches, the CTS system, and incorporate that. And a data center might be the new playground for people in trades to see, because it sounds like to me these data centers, they're not going nowhere. They're only going to continue to rise up for sure.
They're not. It's only gonna be I mean, you're gonna have four for sure, man. I say five really. You're gonna have your data centers for sure. You're gonna have your semiconductor because your chip fact, you need
Yeah.
that chip to go ahead and put into the robots, into the cars, to your
Yep.
phone. You need the data centers for the storage. You need the and you're gonna need the natural gas, right? So you
Yep.
and nuclear
Resources.
facilities.
Yeah.
Yep. So natural gas and nuclear facilities, they're not going anywhere. And then guess what? People are about to be sick. You still need people still need GLP-1, so pharmaceutical not going nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah. That
Those right
GLP-1,
there,
they advertising that hard, man.
yeah, those ones right there. But data centers and pharmaceuticals are probably at the top right now.
Bet. And I'm so
Well,
thankful.
let me change that. Data centers and semiconductors are pretty much neck and neck, but data center is at the top. I'll say that.
Okay.
But that, but you need the data center with the chip factory, and you need that vice versa. And that pharmaceutical is like a standalone, where like people are just, America is unhealthy anyway, so like everybody's gonna, that's gonna
Jump in that
always,
new sector. Yeah.
yeah.
Bet. Next question from worker to leader. And again, you kind of answered this, not to put words in your mouth, but the lifestyle that happened to you before you even got in all this, it sets you up for the win. So from worker to leader, and many people spend their whole entire lives as just a worker, but you moved into leadership. What mindset helped you make that transition?
What mindset? Um, Man, I just always wanted to be better. I wanted to become the best version of myself. And I think I felt I felt a certain type of way when I noticed that when I became a felon, people kind of wrote me off.
Yeah,
Because as a kid, I couldn't really grasp the concept of what was really going on until I got a little older. And I'm like, oh, shoot. So this is how the world see you.
bet.
Bet I'm gonna prove them wrong. I said, bro, I'm gonna become so valuable, people can't say no. That was
I
that
like
was my
that.
motto.
I
Bec-
like that.
I tell any person who have any type of blemish on their background, bro, become so valuable, people can't say no. It's not about your past, not about your background, it's not about what you went through, man. It's about the skills, knowledge, and the value you bring to the marketplace.
Bet.
The tough part is going through the process of getting the skills, knowledge to become valuable. Once you get that, stability, more opportunities, you know, great money, ladies, whatever, whatever's your
Yeah,
thing is on that side. But of
bet.
course, we live in an instant gratification world, man, and sometimes you don't have to be like me. I didn't have a blueprint to be able to get past certain things. So there are some stuff where people out here can help you not run into those rocks or those cliffs or
Bet.
mountains that I had to run through trying to figure it out because I'm a trailblazer.
Bet. And I know for my listeners, if they do get your book, all of this is up in there for sure, how you're showing the process. Maybe you might start a program, but I think with social media, I see you up there, bro. You doing it, man. So I want to thank, I've even had, family members with felonies. And, my dad, he would hire them with us. So I love
That,
what you just said. You got to get to the point where people can't even see that. It's like this brother, whatever, this brother solving multi-million dollar problems.
yeah,
We don't care where he's from. You know what I'm saying?
facts.
Yeah.
Bro, that's exactly what they say.
Bet. And
Like,
I'm pretty
I'm
sure on the
negotiating.
business deals and the golf
Yeah.
courses, you might tell them that. And it's like, Demarcus, I never knew that about you, man.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
matter what, they all say that, man. And like now, I'm negotiating like a contract right now with Lilly,
Okay. Bet.
and that's with my company QAS Quality Assurance Solutions, and it's a pharmaceutical, by the way, the largest pharmaceutical in the nation by the largest pharmaceutical manufacturer in the world.
This new state of the art pharmaceutical plant is fourth to be announced just this year as part of the drug company's $50 billion reshoring effort. Its big push to make medicine in America again.
So I want to make a really, really quick video. And I just got my first offer, contract offer. Crazy work. Crazy work.
But my thing is, bro, I'm now when I said no knowledge kept secret, now I always cross-reference or check certain shit, right?
Yeah.
Like contract. I read the contract and I'm like, ah. I also allowed Claude to help me with the contract. That's how you got to incorporate the AI, guys. You got to put it to work. So it's like, hey man, as this independent contractor you are, these are some of the things you need to evaluate. And it was exclusivity, it was like intellectual property, the
Yep.
non-compete agreements and stuff like that. Yeah, I got all of that put in line and revised it, redlined it, and told them what it meant for me. This is like the way I'm reading this is what it means. And this is what I propose for you guys to put into this. So I gave them the game and now they're reviewing it, their legal team, and they're redoing it and they're gonna resend it out. So it's like those are the type of things, man, when you're out here doing this, just become so valuable that people can't say no, and you can negotiate.
Yeah.
You can negotiate. You don't have to accept the first thing. You gotta understand what you bring to the table.
Exactly. Exactly, man. Um, it's so much I want to continue to ask you, man, but I know time, time is a currency, man. So I'm so happy you
Right.
shared with me. But I got three more questions for you, and then I'm gonna try
Okay.
to wrap it up. But if you got the time now, we're
I
gonna
got
keep
the
rolling.
time.
Okay, bet, bet, bet. What I stand for here at Chadwick Experiences is exactly that, sharing experiences, and my little acronym is LET, and that's learn, earn, and thrive in your everyday life. If a person can learn, then you're gonna earn, and next thing, get on that plane, whether it's money,
And
whether
go
it's
up.
taking care of your family, whether it's ending generational curses, you're gonna thrive on up. So that's what I stand for.
Yeah.
The next question, advice for young people who are considering the trades. There's a lot of conversation about, college versus trade, college versus trade. What advice would you give a young person, parents and students who's thinking about entering the skilled trade?
Mm. Well, I would say essentially you're about to separate yourself from the masses. If you haven't paid attention to the market, the baby boomers are gone.
Yep.
And when the baby boomers left, they took a lot of information with them, a lot of
Mm,
skills. And if you don't want to accumulate, a mass amount of debt, and you want to be able to come in and make money instantly, and also gain a skill that nobody can take away from you. You can fall flat on your face. You can go and do something else. And then guess what? If that something else never works out, you can always come back because you have this skilled trade. Like right now, bro, I could go out and fit pipe. It may not, it may be a bit of a learning curve in certain things, but like can't nobody take this away from me. I know when you welding, if you don't use it, you lose it. But once it becomes second nature, yeah, just give me a couple rides, give me a hood, give me a couple, tries, and then guess what? It's gonna come back. And I'm like, oh, okay, muscle memory. I remember this. I
yeah,
remember this. So I would say do it, especially like this. What if I'm 18 years old and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to play college football, basketball, baseball, that type of stuff. I would say, okay, let's go get a trade, or I would probably try to do it while I was in high school.
exactly.
Let's get a trade, and then guess what? Go experience it. Go to work. Go figure out some stuff to where maybe you'll be like, you know what? I appreciate this. This ain't what I want to do. But now, I know I have a solid foundation to where if I want to go indulge in something else and do it, I can do that. Because imagine you go to college and then you go to college and then that particular journey you took in college that gave you this piece of paper and you get out here and you realize I really don't have any skills.
And we're seeing that today in America, and that's
Yeah,
why I fight it, bro. I
I don't.
love doing it.
Yeah, I don't have any skills to make money, and I'm only saying because I went back to college. I got a psychology degree, so I know I finished my like when I got kicked out of college. I ended up going back. It took me 12 years to finish my 4-year degree, by the way. But I was like, I'm not quitting. But I was a pipe fitter when I finished it.
Hmm. And did that help you pay for I know for me, that's how I paid my student loans back, was doing construction jobs. And again, it's I love what you said. If a person get into this fields out of high school, it's buying you time. Like
Yeah,
even if you want to go on that journey where, hey, I moved out the parents' house, I got my own apartment. I got a decent car. I think the trades could pay for that. Maybe better than a degree right out of high school. And you can experience, quote unquote, the life. We all been there, party, drinking, chasing women, blah, blah, blah. But the trades, if after that's over, you're not in no thousands of dollars of debt like college after partying, drinking, and then, hey, them student loan payments start 6 months after you graduate. So I love what you just put, and I highly would recommend it too. Even if you don't like it, it's there. If you want to be a homeowner, I already know right now, bro. If you was building a house or buying a house, you already know what to look for, bro. Like
Oh
far as the
yeah,
electrical, far as the HVAC, because you're in the field. And to me, the real knowledge has always the real wealth has always been in the knowledge. So you in construction, it's just
yeah,
not going to confine you to a construction site. Residential, commercial, business deals
yeah.
in life. To me,
Industrial.
construction is game, man.
Yeah. It's especially the MEP side of it, man. It's like big Legos, man. You gotta think about it. You got these big Legos and you put them together, and the outside of it is your CSA, you know. So that's your core and shell or your civil, structural, and architectural. And then the inside is your MEP, mechanical, electrical, plumbing. That's the guts. That's your organs. So think about your body. That is your internal organs. That's how the building actually operates. Like it's
Yeah,
all connected. So it's something that's essential, especially with where our society is going
yep,
in the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years. Man, with AI, I'm talking about with artificial intelligence and the way it's moving, that artificial intelligence not going to be able to go out there and do that electrical work. Not going to be
yeah,
able to go out there and do that welding and plumbing.
yeah,
Not at the rate of what you'll be able to do. It'll be able to give you game on the information about it, but I'm telling you, it's only because somebody will be feeding it that
yep,
information. But
yep,
you're gonna have to be essential. It's gonna be something I'm talking about, bro. It's gonna be like a requirement. I'm
yeah.
surprised we ain't even to the point to where it's like Trump not saying, we need X amount of,
But but but,
electrical
but you know
people.
what, Demarcus? I kind
But
of think it is, but it's in some cheat code like parable talk. Because if you
uh
notice with these student loans, they have not forgiven them. Like the people was all hyped up, but Trump is, I feel like even the US Department of Education, they're not forcing people to go back to the trades, but the field you're in with the data centers, we need it. So what do? You kind of block it off. They're trying to say, hey, we're not going to forgive these student loans. And now I'm 40 something plus years old. Now they're talking about, yeah, go to the trades. So I think since as America knows this, that's why trades is getting the due recognition that it's always needed. But I think it's so unbalanced. And as you said, the baby boomer generation, and what my dad learned 40 plus years in plumbing, the day he retired, and the learning curve and the attention span of people, what took my dad 40 years, it might take the next generation 50 years to get those missing gaps because we're a little bit behind. I just read an article, Lowe's Home Improvement. They spent, I think, over
yeah,
$200 million to send people for electrical, plumbing, mechanical
yeah,
school. And even BlackRock invested some money to send people to trade. So I think with the data centers, we need some people, man, and it's coming. So I'm so happy. Like you said, with this trade game, it's getting the recognition that it needed. And I really hate doing this, but hey, anybody watching this, you can see what ethnicities we are. What
yeah,
Demarcus said about, even having a felt where people aren't going to care. I seen that with my dad, man, and I don't mind sharing this, and then I'm gonna get back on track. A lot of the customers my dad had, they were, Caucasian. And I asked him, I was little, I said, hey, Dad, why are we always working on, Caucasian white people houses? And I'm not in no racial mode, but my dad
yeah,
just looked at me and said, son, I go where whoever's going to pay me. So when I was young, that's the game that I got. So when you do good work, it don't even matter. People are going to want you. You're dealing with one of
yeah.
the biggest pharmaceuticals in the United States, and they want to potentially get
And
you a contract. So
the
a lot of times when they talk about race, I think it is a race, but it's just a race to wealth. It's a race to who has the skill set. Yes, racism exists, but in today's world, if you got the skill set, people gonna come find you, man.
Hmm.
That's just what it is, man. They're gonna come find you, man. But to get back on track, two more
Hold up.
questions.
Before you go there, though,
Uh-huh.
before you go there, I want to paint a picture for people real quick.
Okay,
So
bet.
I started this back in 2013. 2013. I I didn't necessarily, even from that 13 years from now, I didn't necessarily stay on a job the entire time, the
Okay.
entire project. You know what I mean? So I was learning at a super, super fast pace because I was always observing people, observing. I was taking notes on, okay, this is what I learned today. This is what I learned. And I had a whole notepad full of stuff that I can go back and reflect and stuff that I can add to my resume and become like, oh, I did that hydro test. Oh, I did that pneumatic test. Oh man, I did this. And I was able to put all this on resumes to where I could upsell. So I would go, work and as a fire watch, after me learning the game, guess what? Right after that fire watch job, dude, I became I went straight to pipe fitting, getting
Bet.
top dollar. Now, I was not a top dollar pipe fitter,
Bet.
but I stressed the truth in that industry and I actually hustled. You know what I mean? Nobody knows everything about it. Nobody knows everything about the
Yeah.
skill trade. You can't learn
Yep.
everything
You're
about
gonna
the skill
always
trade.
learn something from
Yeah.
somebody.
So when I got the game and I done that, and I just had a hustle about myself, and they knew that I wanted to learn, they kept paying me, and I kept growing, growing. I would go to another company, another project. I learned something new. Boom, boom, boom. And I watched my general foreman or foreman after I became a foreman. Okay, that's how general foreman move. That's what they doing. All right, say less. I go become a general foreman or something. Oh, that's how superintendent move. Hmm, I can do that. Oh, how he shakes people's hand. You know what I mean? Like I'm watching all of
Keep
this,
it
man.
game. Yeah.
And that's when I just started doing that at a quantum level, like to where now, bro, think about it. 13 years of not a consistent me being on a job. Now I own my own company in this industry, and I'm a representative to the owners, to the client, as an expert. That was all personal development.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily the skill. It was personal development. So
Bet.
Jim Rohn was spot on, bro.
Yeah. And he came in my life at the darkest moment in my life. I was going through a divorce and I
Yeah,
didn't know what to do. And my little brother sent me that joint. It's called, if I'm not, it's called The Best Life Ever Lived. It's still on YouTube to this day. It's like 4 hours long. But
yeah.
Jim Rohn to me is one of the best people you can listen to if you down in a rock place because he causes you to reflect at yourself, having a list of goals, everything, man. But I love that. And I'm gonna throw an acronym out there too. When you say you become the expert, there's a cool acronym called SME, subject matter expert. And I'm pretty sure you
Hmm.
have become the subject matter expert of, with the pipes, fitting,
Yeah.
everything. And I'm hoping in the future you're gonna be the SME for data centers so I can continue to learn about these data centers, bro, and keep getting
Hey,
the game.
my company, that what your daddy say? Some we going to whoever who pays.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's what my dad always say. I
Yeah.
go whoever who pays me. Yeah.
Hey, man, look, bro. Like my next goal is to figure out how to 10x where I am right now after getting this to where
Yeah.
I can help other people get in position to build their company and then step into this construction industry and doing contract to contract and giving them full autonomy and becoming a full entrepreneur instead of waiting on somebody else to throw them a
Yeah.
bone, being a W-2 employee and not being able to write off your commercial insurance or your insurance on your car or
Yep.
other things that you're doing, but you can't even write off this stuff, man, because you're W-2. And
Yeah. And I want to talk about there's two more questions left, but you got me open about the data centers. One thing we talked about off record way
yeah,
before months ago, you told me there's money in building them, but there's also money in the sustainability of the contracts after these data centers are built. Could you just share what that looks like as well. So even if a person's working in the trade, maybe they're not so much hands-on, but if somebody can be the subject matter expert of MEPS, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, sometimes the maintenance and sustainability contracts of these data centers is where the money's at. And if I'm not mistaken, you said they could be, years worth of sustainability of contracts
Oh
once
yeah,
the data center is finished.
yeah. That's all industries though, bro. That go past the data center, but that's all of them. Like each project, every time something goes up, man, there's always a sustainability aspect within it. And though you become a vendor, right, of that client, and typically it be big companies who have this, like Holt, like what is it, Hocat, like Virginia Transformers, and I don't know, depending on who those electrical contractors or
Yeah,
mechanical contractors who typically built it, they like to stay in that same space. So that's something that can be done. Or if somebody decided they wanted to become an SME in that industry, right? They can
yeah,
propose themselves on being that vendor to come out and make sure all the maintenance is done right. But that pretty much goes with every industry,
everything.
no
Yeah,
matter what trade you're in too, because if we having a telecommunication issue, guess what? I have to be a telecommunication guy to come out and figure some stuff out. If I'm
bet,
having my VAVs or something need to be changed or rewired, somebody gotta come out and do that.
bet. And the next question, this is kind of a piece from your book, the knowledge
Yep.
that shouldn't be kept secret. Your book says no knowledge kept secret. What is one piece of knowledge that you believe what people need to hear more of right now?
Bet on yourself.
Yep. 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 Because I didn't really know about young Dolph, because I'm a little bit older, but after, his death and they took him out or whatever, I started listening to what he was saying. And he said something there. He said, when you lay up in that casket and it ain't gonna be nobody else in there but you. So
Like when I came in, I was by myself. You know what I mean? So like when it's time to make them important decisions, like I'm gonna be by myself. When it's time to have fun, like when it's time to die, when it's time to do everything, bro. It's like you came in by yourself, you're gonna die by yourself. You're gonna be in that casket by yourself. So you can't give a damn about what nobody think. You know what I mean? Like, cause it ain't gonna never be a day that nobody in the world had to wake up and be you.
you gotta bet on yourself. And that's been my motto this whole week with some of the I
Hmm.
say at the end of the day, when our life is over, to me, I would sit there to hate and think if there is an afterlife, I don't know until I die, no. But to sit there and think that you didn't bet on yourself.
Yeah, man. Live every day. You only die once, man. Like, think about that. Think about that, bro. Every time you procrastinate, and now sometimes I can be a procrastinator, I ain't gonna
Me
lie.
too.
But
Me too.
I'm
Fact.
saying, but every time you willingly does not go towards something that you desire, you're pushing yourself back or dragging your feet. When it's like the Most High be like, hey, I got this for you over here, man. There's a reason why you desire it. I put it in your heart, right? I put it in
Yeah.
your spirit, put it in your mind, and this is what you're supposed to be doing. This is your life work. I just need you to become it. And that comes with a whole lot of changing
Oh yeah.
and adjusting and maneuvering and losing people and all that stuff, man. So it's I'm gonna say bet on yourself, bro. And I was just listening to Dolph too.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That dude. I mean, no record label. That's probably what took him out. He had some haters, man, but he was
Oh, you know
independent.
it. You
Yeah.
know it. You know it, man. And like for me, like we gotta like it's bro, it hadn't even really dawned on me, bro. Like I'm literally it's wild, man. I guess because I've been a full-time entrepreneur before, right? Let's say for
Uh-huh.
example, like one of my second marriage, had bought a multi-family unit, had a transportation company, had a franchise, and so I was busy, full-time entrepreneur. And so I stopped fitting pipe at a time of my life, right? And then I lose all of that in divorce. Gone. Lose it, you know, for $1.2 million, just gone. And now, I had to get back into pipe fitting. get back into pipe fitting, get back in the game, get back to doing what I gotta do. And now to where I've gotten right back to full entrepreneurship, but only in this industry.
Bet.
Like I'm overjoyed. It's still it's I haven't settled in on it because knowing that this is the largest industry that we have here in our society, bro.
Yep.
Like the sky's the limit. It's infinite.
And once you kind of grow up in that and you see it, I find myself too, deja vu, thinking about North Carolina in a cornfield with my grandfather and now living where I live and doing the things I do. So I totally get where you come from, man. You just can't really explain it sometimes, man. And it's good to just know that you are capable of doing that. And even we could go on a whole nother show about divorces where people may think it's
Oh
the
yeah.
end, but it's really the beginning of another a whole nother journey. And it's like life
Yeah.
cycles, man. But last question, man. This is going to be the closing, the masterpiece question. If someone's listening right now, Demarcus, and they feel like their life is a catastrophe on a stage, what is the first step that they should take and start turning their life into a masterpiece?
First thing you should do is peace be still. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Usually, usually you have to get to a space of and I know it's hard, but a pace of stillness. And it don't have to be for a long time. It need to be just for a time space to where you know, okay, this is the direction I gotta go right now. But if your life's in shambles and you think it's over with, man, after that, hey, I know you're gonna be in survival mode. A lot of people stay in survival mode, and survival mode is necessary. Don't get me wrong. Survival mode is necessary. It teaches you to grind. It teaches you to go getting this. It teaches you, the hustle and bustle. But then you got to get to a point of now I'm thriving or I'm being stable, and that all is a mindset though. It's a
yeah.
mindset. So for me, this was the first thing when I went through my first divorce. When I ended up homeless, taking showers at Planet Fitness, I had 75 cents in my bank account. I was sleeping in my white my white Mercury Grand Marquis 2000
Hey,
year
that's a
2000.
fly car, man.
Yeah.
The Grand Marquis.
So,
Yeah.
so I'm in that thing, right? And the first thing
Wow.
I said was, "What are you gonna do now? What are you gonna do now? You 13 hours away from the house, man." And all I could think of was, okay, what is it that I don't know that got me here? What do I need to learn? What process do I need to go through? Like, it's so wild, bro. I was preparing myself for that when I could have been, tripping. Now I
Yeah.
shed some tears and everything. Now don't get me twisted. I shed tears, everything. I'm trying to figure out, like, bro, now I'm back in a whole space of just loneliness. Like I'm like betrayal. That's what it felt like, right?
Yeah.
And it was, what are you gonna do now? So I started picking up books. I started going to Barnes and Nobles. I started I went to this nonprofit organization called True Beginnings, and they thought this was so wild. They thought that I wasn't a felon. They thought that I was somebody to come in and help them when I was a person that was in need.
Man.
I needed something. And so one thing I ended up doing was I started serving other people
That.
in spite of what my situation was. And I know for a fact right now I'm reaping the fruits of my labor from that now.
And I can salute you on that, man. When you serve others, man, it just opens up so many windows for you, man. And I know the feeling, man. Like that's some real stuff. And one gem that I want to drop, and you kind of mentioned it with the Barnes and Nobles. You kind of talked about this, and I'm gonna put your social media and everything up here at the end. But one thing I heard from you on one of your posts is when you said you was down and out, you would go to Barnes and Nobles, and because you couldn't buy the books, you would just be up in there reading them. He was like, you try to hide the book to remember where it was at. So I salute you on that because it a lot of people sometimes say, oh, I don't have the money. Sometimes it ain't about the money, it's about your determination. What are you willing to do that you're capable of doing and do it until you can get to the money or you can get up off your feet. So I'll definitely salute you on that, man. When you didn't tell me directly, it was like on one of your Instagram posts that because you didn't have the money, bro, you was in there in Barnes and Noble just
I'm
reading
telling
books for
you.
free.
Bro, I was in that thing reading books, hiding books so I can come back to it. Like that's what it was, man. It, that's what it was. I know I didn't have the money, so I mean, okay, I can't take it out the store, go to jail for that. But guess
Yeah.
what? I can go hide it in the store.
Yep. I love that, man, because it shows one of those determination moments where it ain't about the money, it's about the person. And I'm pretty sure if somebody was to ever hit you up, we've all seen this after you give a speech or, hey, bro, I ain't got no money. I'm not so quick to give people money. I like to hear their story and I like to show them how they can achieve something without getting the bag first. It's all about those moments, what you just talked about, bro.
Yeah, when it come to giving people money and stuff, man. I remember I used to freely give it,
Yeah,
because
same here.
me just knowing where I was at and like, dang, I wish somebody would have gave that to me, you know. But now, yeah, it's different now. Now I need to know where your mind is.
Yeah. And a
And
lot of and a lot of times too, if we would have gotten money, I don't think you would be motivated what you're doing now. And I'll tell you my story. I don't think I've ever put this out there. A lot of people don't know this, but I wanted to drop out of high school, but my parents kept me in there. And what I was doing, I was hustling on eBay. I would buy cars and then flip them. So right out of high school, I went to the bank. I had got rear-ended and I had like an insurance settlement of 10 bands. And I went to the bank and I said, hey, I'm selling a lot of cars. I want to be able to buy me a flatbed truck so I can go to New York because Mercedes-Benz, BMW, they're cheaper there because of the salt and New York is flashy. Nobody keeps driving the same car. So I figured I could buy cars in New York, drive them back, and sell them in Carolina, and the bank wouldn't give me a loan. But when I went to college, man, they'll give you a loan. So if I would
oh
have
yeah,
got that money, there would be no Chadwick expense. I
yeah,
know for a fact I would have took off and selling them cars, bro, because to bring a Mercedes back to North Carolina, people will pay double for it for the status. So it's so interesting when I look back over life, and I'm pretty sure you're there too. If we would have got to the bag first, or you wouldn't even be where you at today, man, with helping people and learning those lessons.
nowhere near,
Yeah,
nowhere near. And I know it's like, man, oh God, dog. Man, bro. I used to always be just sitting there like, yeah, man, you're gonna blow up, man. You're gonna blow up. You're gonna get this. You're gonna get that. Like, I'm just busted and disgusted, man. And I was just hoping that some money just fell in my pockets.
yeah,
I was hoping. But and when I realized when nobody coming to save me, it was like,
that's it. Nobody coming to save you. You gotta save
all right,
yourself, yeah, and do the
yeah,
work and do the
yeah.
work.
Yeah, how can now it's like, okay, what problem can I solve? You got to solve a problem. You got to
Yep,
bridge the gap for somebody.
that. Well, man, I definitely appreciate this. Before we go, I'm going to share my screen so my listeners can definitely follow up with you. So up here, it's Instagram.
Hmm.
I mean, there's real footage of him, working in the trades, working out his office space. He's got so much to offer. Uh, it's at Demarcus Taylor right there for you.
Yeah,
Also,
Demarcus Taylor.
bet. And also, when you guys want to learn he really summed up this book, but the book goes in more depth. Turn your catastrophe into a masterpiece. No knowledge kept secret. If you want this book, it's on Amazon. I see he has it on the Kindle as well. And then I want to give a big salute, man. Minority owned business. This is you. Can you kind of talk about this quality assurance solutions? I'm gonna post
Yeah.
this on LinkedIn so when people see what you offer, and I don't know if it's proprietary, but what you told me about the new program you have with this software, I kind of see how that can be incorporated. Only if you want to, but this is his
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
website right here.
Yeah, man. So yeah, this is my company that I actually started back in 2022. Um And in fact, Brianna and I started this, and just sitting in the living room, man, and like, dude, I'm doing this work, and I started just like, yo, I could do this for myself. Like at this point, I'm on the quality assurance side of stuff, and so it's a construction and quality owner representative company where we oversee these projects, which is more on the construction management side of support or professional project management, and um, primarily it's in the you know, pharmaceutical data center semiconductor um, area where, that's where a lot of our clients are. And associated with ISPE, I used to be on the board for the Southwest chapter of ISPE, and that's International Society for Pharmaceutical Engineering. And dude, like just just this whole process, guys. Like I wish that a lot of people knew more about this side of construction instead
Yeah.
of it being, on just that trade side, because
Yep.
the way that we move and how we get really good at what we do, right? We get good at what we do. You can always take that to the next level and start learning more about submittals, learning about RFIs, learning about change orders or
Yep.
change requests, learning about turn the page flips on basis of design with all the engineers and architects and the owners and the additional clients and general contractors, knowing about OAC meetings, like you name it, man, or OFCI, owner furnished equipment, like being able to get exposed to that side is a game changer. And that's a lot of the side that a lot of people don't get to see in on the trade aspect. But what I've done is develop that to where, I can go out and execute that at a high level. And in addition to that, one of my business partners and I, we've created a training program where we're gonna be implementing that, once the opportunity gets to it, and looking to get like a grant from the city to help us and to set all of that up, man. And we haven't, like, it's an idea right now. We have the actual like manuscript, but like we haven't reached out to the city yet. We haven't put it in place to where like, okay, now this is in motion. We're finna really do this. But I think me and him should do that.
Bet. And
And
from what I see from my side of construction and security with government contracts and stuff, I see exactly what you're talking about. But I'm not gonna go in depth with it, man, because somebody may be listening now and trying to, get some free game. But way to go, man, to keep that information proprietary. And again, I know if somebody come on the back end of this conversation, hey, what this brother doing with an LA hat and a gold chain, they probably think we talking
yeah,
about rap music or something like, but we talking about business stuff, man, and
yeah,
what you're doing, man. So I definitely
yeah.
appreciate you, man. Is there anything you want to say before we close out, man?
Yeah, man. So I'm releasing a new book. That actually like this week coming up, I'm gonna start talking about it. I'll be doing a live with Soul this week
Okay.
also based on it. So it's forced under load, how high capacity leaders are created under pressure, right? Like everybody think they're going under pressure for certain reasons, but bro, you're being processed. You're being forced. You're being put in a place for a reason. So take that pressure and allow it to develop you and to become that leader that you are. And what I've done was pretty much revamp or done an additional spin off of how to turn your catastrophe into a masterpiece to where I am now, man. And yeah, big difference. So yeah, go get Forge Underload. It's on my website.
All right, man. Well, Demarcus, I appreciate it for you. We're gonna put his social media and everything back up there. And again, thanks so much for willing to give up your time and also share your knowledge. Because again, I mean, this didn't cost us nothing to get up here and chop it up for a minute. But I know if the right people see this, or somebody's that don't know where they want to be, you're a prime example of where it doesn't matter about like your past or whatever
Yeah.
happened in the past. It's only about where you're moving forward. And that's what I stand for here at Chadwick Experiences. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off. But we could have chopped it up a lot more, man. But I'm trying
Oh,
to.
yeah.
The attention span is so much opportunity, business deals is going on in this world. You really don't have moments like this to check in and then check back out and take what you got from this and keep it moving. So I appreciate this, Demarcus.
Real talk, man. Likewise, brother.